What's up, my comic comrades? Last week we covered the Death Metal Trinity Crisis tie-in issue, during which we promised to bring you the next tie-in issue, Speed Metal. Well, the issue just dropped this week, so today we're making good on that promise. Between Death Metal 3 and the Trinity Crisis tie-in issue, things have really started to build up in the Death Metal story, especially with the return of Superboy Prime in Trinity Crisis. So if you haven't read those issues or watched our episodes on them, you definitely want to do that first. You can find those episodes right here. For those of you who are ready to go, we're going to spoil the crap out of Dark Knight's Death Metal Speed Metal 1. So there's your long-winded warning. But before we dive in, we do want to thank NordVPN for sponsoring today's episode. Our lives have never been more digital, which is a trend that will only continue to grow. And that being the case, we need to be protecting our online privacy and taking internet safety seriously. Well, you can start doing exactly that by going to nordvpn.com/variant to set up a VPN account with the company we trust. Setting up NordVPN couldn't be easier. You just get an account, download the app on your computer or your phone, then sign in and turn it on. It's really that simple. And once you turn it on, NordVPN immediately starts hiding your IP address by redirecting your connection through one of Nord's 5,200 plus remote servers. You can even choose double data encryption for even greater privacy. Another great feature that we're always talking about is the ability to choose a server in one of 59 countries NordVPN has available and explore the unique exclusive content on Netflix, Disney Plus, or other streaming services in those areas of the world. It basically makes it impossible to ever run out of movie and TV options. It's pretty amazing. Altogether with NordVPN, you get insanely fast servers, military-grade encryption, up to 6 simultaneous connections, unlimited bandwidth, 24/7 customer support, and a crap ton more, which is why they're our VPN of choice. So take control of your internet life. Go to nordvpn.com/variant now to get 68% off a 2-year plan. And when you use the promo code variant at checkout, members of the Variant Nation will get an extra month for free as a bonus. Again, that's nordvpn.com/variant, or use the code variant at account signup. You'll be glad you did. But now, my amigos, my compadres, it's time to start talking about Speed Metal. The comic starts off with essentially giving us a recap of the beginning of the DC Rebirth one-shot by Jeff Johns from several years ago, with Wally West narrating, saying, "I was out of time, lost in the Speed Force, while the world I loved changed. But I remembered the gift my uncle gave me, and it brought me to him. He was my lightning rod. Barry brought me back." For those of you who aren't aware, the original Wally West was erased during the New 52, but then brought back by Jeff Johns during his Rebirth one-shot. The next page continues to recap Wally's history from the beginning of Rebirth all the way to now. Wally goes on to say that Dr. Manhattan was the one who changed the timelines during the New 52 and was the reason he was trapped inside of the Speed Force. But again, Barry, being Wally's anchor, eventually remembered Wally, which in turn brought him back. The page then continues to recap everything that's happened to Wally ever since his return in DC Rebirth, which I just mentioned a second ago. It reminds us when him and the Titans fought Abracadabra, his fight with Barry Allen Flash during the Flash War, and even the events of Heroes in Crisis that led to his arrest. All the way up to him sitting in the Mobius chair and gaining the powers of Dr. Manhattan. Wally then says, but someone new had other plans. The Batman who laughs, a mad creature from the deepest pits of the dark multiverse who was disrupting our world worse than ever before, turning us away from hope toward despair. I tried to stop him, but he used the powers of an ancient god to do the impossible, steal the Mobius chair from me. So for those of you wondering how the Batman who laughs captured a Dr. Manhattan powered Wally West, which was revealed to us in Death Metal issue 1, he did so with the powers of Perpetua, the mother of the multiverse. But if you've been following our episodes on DC's Death Metal issues, you know that Wonder Woman eventually saved and freed Wally. And speaking of Death Metal, in issue 3, Wally, Barry, and Jay are on the run from the Batman who laughs, aka the Darkest Night. And it's at this point in Speed Metal the issue picks up from where issue 3 of Death Metal left off, with these 3 speedsters running from the Batman who laughs. We see that the one who laughs is hot on their tail, with Barry saying, "Jay, Wally, follow me." And Jay asks, "Where are we headed, gentlemen?" And Wally says, "We just keep running." Wally continues to say, "That monster has used his nightmarish imagination to create a world with no escape. Then we'll go to another." Barry then speaks up saying, "Wally, you think I didn't try that? I even took the risk of going back in time, but nothing worked. Perpetua has destroyed most of the multiverse." Jay then interjects saying, "Well, we better get a plan together fast, because whatever that Batman who laughs has become, he's gaining on us fast." And as the 3 continue running away from the Batman who laughs, Kid Flash shows up saying, "Hey, where have you all been? I've been searching for the Teen Titans for weeks and was just about to give up when I felt your Speed Force." Kid Flash continues to say, "Whoa, Wally, when did you start wearing blue? And why do you have a hydrogen symbol on your forehead?" Wally replies, "Long story." Kid Flash then says, "Fast version version? And Wally answers, the Batman who laughs wants to steal anti-crisis energy inside of me. Barry then tells all of them, focus. Every step we take at this speed puts an incredible strain on the Speed Force. We're not only going to burn our bodies out, we're going to burn the Speed Force out. And as he says this, they start hearing war drums. Then on the next page, we see that's because a horde of dark flashes have started to chase them, unleashed by the Batman who laughs. And one of these dark flashes is a Joker flash. I want to know more about that one. As the horde of dark flashes start gaining on the speedsters, Wally says, there's a way I could buy us some time, but it's risky. Keep close. As Wally yells out a formula, freezing the horde of dark flashes all around them. We find out it's the Speed Force formula developed by Johnny Quick. It taps into the Speed Force in a different way. Then Barry says it accelerates the burnout. It may have bought us a few minutes, but then the moment restarts. Kid Flash then sees a rundown Flash museum and is like, maybe we could find something in there to help us run faster. But Barry replies, I came through there days ago, searched it top to bottom. It's all gone. Jay then says, it's on us to get justice. Barry then starts talking to Jay saying, we pushed the Speed Force as hard as we can, Jay. Our own steps generated. If Wally hadn't acted so irresponsibly with the Speed Force formula, we could have kept running. Wally then says, hey, it gave us a moment to catch our breath. To which Barry responds, to do what? And Wally replies, I'm sorry I don't have all the answers, Barry, pulling flash facts out of my... And Jay breaks it up saying, hey, flashes don't fight, you numbskulls, while slapping both of them on the back of the head. I gotta say, I love how Jay Garrick is the father figure for all the Flashes. After Jay breaks up their fight, Barry says, we need to get moving again, find a way to get as much distance between us and them before time restarts. Wally says, I think I know what we can do, how to gain an advantage over the Batman who laughs, the Mobius chair. It holds the secrets of the multiverse. The universe made me sit in it to make repairs to our timeline. The Batman who laughs tried to steal the knowledge from it, but it rejected him. Now that he's gained the control of the crisis energy, he'll try again, but he caught me off guard last time. This time, I'll beat him to the punch. Barry then says, we'd have to run back toward the horde, Wally. And Wally answers, we can't constantly run in circles, Barry. Maybe we need to break the cycle. Instead of running away from them, we run into them. And Barry says, absolutely not. We stay on the move. Flashes move forward. And Wally says, and sometimes we need to go back. You taught me a lot. And one of the main things was, we don't run from danger, we run to it. Getting that chair doesn't just save us, it could save everyone. And if you're not gonna run with me, I'll run alone. Wouldn't be the first time. Wally then runs inside of the Flash Museum. Barry of course follows, and once inside, Wally starts saying, I've saved the multiverse tons of times, more than I can count. Alone, with the Flash, the Justice League, our family. From the edges of time to the fourth world, I've saved lives. And yet I always feel like I'm running behind you. I worked so hard to get out of your shadow, but when you returned, I got shoved back into it. Barry then says, that's not what I wanted. When I was gone, I missed so much. And part of that was you growing up, going from Kid Flash to the Flash. And sometimes I forget that. That's my thing to deal with. I'm just afraid of losing you again. That's all. Long story short, they finally make up and Barry says, whatever we do it together. So the Flashes rally together and do Wally's plan. But before they start running, several of their costumes start changing into metal-inspired costumes, and Wally says, it's him. I can feel him putting pressure on the Speed Force, finding cracks to get to us, corrupting it. And with that, the Flashes start running with the Batman who laughs and his Flash horde on their tail. The Batman who laughs and or the Darkest Knight is all like, nice trick, Redhead, but I have some of my own, as he tells his horde to chase them down and then continues to say, where are you running off to now? Oh, I see, clever. Hey Flash family, is it true that a Flash has to die in every crisis? Do you really want to sit back in the chair, Wally? And as the Flashes are running, several start getting left behind. First Jay, then Kid Flash, and finally Barry, who gives Wally a heartfelt speech saying, you always said I inspired you. Well, today you inspired me. Don't use that power, Wally, use mine, our Speed Force, as Barry gives Wally his speed, making Wally faster than ever before, which says a whole hell of a lot because Wally is already the fastest Flash. As Wally continues to run, escaping the grips of the Dark Flash horde, his costume starts to change back to his original Flash costume with the white eyes we've seen from the 90s and early 2000s. And we see all this with a nice 2-page spread of Wally's history. It's really freaking dope. Anyway, Wally finally makes his way back to Castle Bat to get the Mobius chair, saying, hey Batman who tries too hard, too slow, while giving him a rock fist. But right after that, there's a large boom, and on the next page, we see Wally is back in the Speed Force, lost in it again. Wally then says to himself, I could feel myself being pulled deeper and deeper than ever before. I'll become one with the Speed Force soon. He continues to say, I was lost once, but I got home. I'll get back to my family again. You hear me, universe? My name is Wally West, and I'll find my family again, as he falls deeper and deeper into the Speed Force. But wouldn't you know it, on the next page, Wally is greeted by not only his wife and children, but the entire Flash family. His wife even says, we came to you this time, and Barry says, when you got the chair, you pulled us out of the fire. And Kid Flash says, yeah, that was definitely a close one. As Wally is hugging his wife and kids, he says, how? And Jesse Quick says, when the Justice League went missing and things got scary in reality, we shared our speed with each other. And Bart says, and ran like hell into here, just like what happened to you with Abracadabra, but better. Wally catches up with his friends and distant family, but then says, the Justice League needs us. They're part of our family too. We still need to get the Mobius chair to Wonder Woman. She'll know what to do. This is the greatest fight of our lives, and we can't give up an inch of hope. Wally's son then says, are you gonna sit in the chair again, Dad? And Wally says, I'll do whatever it takes to save our family, Jay, and save the multiverse. Wally then starts walking towards the Mobius chair to head out to help Wonder Woman and the Justice League. And Jay says, you don't want to say goodbye to everyone? And Wally replies, I don't need to. I know I'm gonna see them again soon. And Barry then speaks up saying, the moment we step back into the Metalverse, the Batman who laughs is gonna be on us. I have a feeling we're racing into a war unlike anything we've ever seen. Wally then uses the Mobius chair to change back into his blue Dr. Manhattan inspired costume and looks at Barry saying, lead the way. And Barry says, no, I think you've got it covered. It's your turn. And on the final page of the issue, we see Wally leading Jay and Barry saying, damn right. And that, my friends, is the Speed Metal one-shot. All in all, I personally enjoyed it. Do I think it's a must-read for the DC Metal storyline? If you're a Flash fan, for sure. But if you're not a massive Flash fan, you could definitely just pass on this and get all the cliff notes in the next issue of Death Metal. But for me, I'm a massive fan of the Flash, so I definitely enjoyed this issue. It's always fun to see the Flashes interact with one another, and the best part by far was seeing Wally West finally be embraced by his wife and kids. And then we got to see a change in Wally West. Ever since he was brought back in the DC Rebirth one-shot, all he's wanted was his old life back, his wife and his kids. And since he didn't have that, it caused a lot of problems for him as he lost his family. So the fact that he was able to finally embrace them, but then willing to leave them so quickly, says a whole lot about his confidence and demeanor now. So it's just really cool to get the optimistic Wally West back again. It was also really cool to see him in his OG Flash costume with the white eyes, because that's the Flash most of us grew up with in the 90s and early 2000s. Because remember, Barry Allen Flash didn't come back into continuity till Final Crisis, which was around 2008, 2009-ish. However, I will say I do want to see Wally West use some of those Dr. Manhattan powers. Like, when are we going to see that? I want to see it. Hopefully we'll see it in Death Metal issue 4. But just like that, that's my 2 cents of this issue and Death Metal so far. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comment section. And unfortunately, that brings another episode of Variant to a close. But if you liked today's episode, be sure to check out this one right here. And if you like all of our content in our channel, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It always helps us out. But I will see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.